Hello, today we are reviewing Chapter 2.5, mini unit here. We are going to first review combining like terms and then distributing. So first, combining our like terms, we are just looking to see which terms have the same letters. So here's an x and here's a term with an x. So we're going to combine those two together. They're different signs, negative, positive, different signs subtract. 8 minus 3 is 5, but there's more negatives, so it's a negative 5. Don't forget the x. And then there's this negative 10 here. We can't combine that with anything else, so it's just minus 10. So your answer is negative 5x minus 10. That's it. You cannot combine those together because this has an x and this does not. This next one says, be careful, be careful. We're not really distributing because there's only one term here, 7y. This is really a negative, and a negative, the opposite of a negative, makes a positive. So that's a big plus. Now let's combine our like terms. Here I have an x, here I have a y, here's another x, and another y. So combining our x's together, negative 8 and negative 15, same sign, add and keep. So 8 plus 15 is going to give us 23. They're all negative, so it's negative 23, and they're all x's, so negative 23x. Our y's, here we have a positive 7y and a negative 6y. Different signs subtract. 7 minus 6 leaves us with 1y, and there's more positive, so it's plus. So negative 23x plus 1y. Here's some more x's. We're going to combine this 5x with this negative 6x. Don't forget that negative. Different signs subtract. 6 minus 5 is 1. And there's more negatives. And then we have a negative 11 and a positive 12. Again, different signs subtract. 12 minus 11 is 1, but this time there's more positive. So negative 1x plus 1. Alright, before we even start this one, I see that we have two negatives next to each other here. The opposite of a negative is a positive, so that's a positive 18. And I'm going to always look for my letters first. Negative 21b. And this is really a negative 1b. Those are all the b's we have. Same sign, all negatives. Add and keep. 21 plus 1 is 22 b's. And keep the negative sign, they're all negative. And then just our numbers, our constants. We have 13 plus 18. Add those up. If you need to write it out, you can. If you need to use a calculator, that's fine too. You should get 31. And they're all positive, so negative 22b plus 31. The second thing we learned was how to distribute. Remember, this was our classroom, and out front was our teacher. Our teacher is always touching or right next to the classroom. And I didn't draw any boxes for you. You're going to have to draw them yourself to distribute. Well, our classroom goes on the top of our box, our two terms, x and minus 6. This is really a 1x. And our teacher goes out front, in front of the classroom, the 4. So when we multiply, 4 times 1 is 4, multiplied also by the x. And then 4 times negative 6, they don't get along, it's negative. 6 times 4 is 24. So our answer is 4x minus 24. I'm going to draw a box for this one as well, because I see a parentheses with two terms inside. That's my classroom, that goes on top, 3x and a plus 9. My teacher goes out front, that's the 4. 3 times 4 is 12 with the x. And 4 times 9, if you're not sure, use your calculator. 4 times 9 is 36, and it's all positive, so put a plus there. So our answer is 12x plus 36. Don't include that 4. Some of you guys are trying to include that. We're done once we multiply. Alright. Third one, I see a set of parentheses with two terms inside, so I know I need to draw a box to multiply. My classroom on top is 2x minus 8. But my teacher this time is a big term here, negative 5x. So when we multiply your numbers first. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. And x times x, remember that's the same as x squared, so right there, x times x is x squared. Then we have negative 5 times negative 8. We know two negatives multiplied make a positive. They're too grumpy, they get along. 8 times 5 is 40. But don't forget this x over here. There's also an x. So our answer is negative 10x squared plus 40x. You cannot combine those together because one of these has the power of 2 and the other one does not. They are different. Okay? Our last slide on the back, this is where we had multiple steps. I see that we have parentheses, so I'm going to draw a box to multiply, distribute. I know my classroom, two terms in there, x minus 7, this is really a 1x. And my teacher is touching the classroom, that's a 4. But what do I do with this 5x? That 5x is some hall monitor just checking to make sure that everything's going okay in the classroom. So they just go in that extra box, our dash box that we add on. So that's where our positive 5x gets put. They're just there hanging out. So 4 times 1 is 4 with the x. And then 4 times negative 7, I know it's going to be a negative. 7 times 4 is 28. So we're done with those terms. Our answer so far is 4x minus 28 plus 5x. Now if you stopped here on your test, this would give you most of your points. However, we need to combine our like terms. So we have 4x plus 5x. They're all positives. 4 plus 5 is 9. So that's 9x. And then this negative 28, there's nothing left to combine it with, so just minus 28. Alright, in the middle here, again, I'm going to draw my box to distribute because I see we have a big set of parentheses with two terms inside. Our 5y and our 6 are our classroom. Our teacher now, some of you might be thinking, how do I know if it's 2 or 8? Well, which one is right next to the parentheses? If the 2 is touching the classroom here, this 8 is separated by the plus sign. So I know my teacher is the 2. And then my extra box, my hall monitor, is just hanging out inside there in the hall, the plus 8. So when we multiply, 2 times 5 is 10 with the y. 2 times 6, 6 times 2 is 12. So we're done with those. 10y plus 12, and another plus 8. So this is our only term with a y, so we have 10y. But then we have plus 12 and a plus 8. Same sign, add and keep. So they're all positive, should give us a positive 20. And then our last problem here. We do see a big set of parentheses, so I know I'm going to have to distribute. My classroom on top is x and a minus 9. That's really a 1x. A lot of you are going to want to put the 12 as your teacher. I put this arrow here because notice, there's a negative there. That's really a negative 1. That is directly touching your parentheses. This 12 is not. It's separated by the plus sign. So that our negative 1 is really our teacher. The 12 is what's added or subtracted on the end. That's our hall monitor. So when we multiply, negative 1 times 1 is negative 1 with the x. And a negative times a negative again makes a positive. 1 times 9 is 9. So we have negative 1x plus 9 plus 12. So our only x's we have, right there, negative 1x. And then we have plus 9 plus 12. 9 plus 12. We had 12 plus 8 over here, so 12 plus 9 is one more, so it should be 21. If you have questions, make sure to ask because you do have a test pretty soon here. Good luck.